Okay, so I just wanted to make like a little mini version. My hair looks crazy. A little mini immersion vlog. I'm really excited to be partaking in this round. All day I've been basically just like listening to Spanish. I mean, I had to work a little bit and just like had some personal things going on, but I've been like, my focus this weekend is just to listen. Tonight I'm gonna go to the little mini immersion movie. There's gonna be a movie tonight. I think it's Guatemalan, so I'm excited for that. I'm a little bit nervous because it seems like it's gonna be creepy, and like it literally is not until like 10:30 for me. Okay, so like I'm not exactly like a comprehensible input girly, because like there's no way you would ever catch me like calculating hours. Like there's no way, like I'm sorry, but like my brain does not work like that, and like I get it, but like there's no way. And it's just like it would get like too much for me. Like it's like kind of anxiety inducing to like literally be calculating like how long I'm like, I don't even know. And so for that reason, I've never been the type to like sit there and like actually calculate my hours. But like from the beginning, I've always like used comprehensible input as a part of my learning routine. And so for mini immersion this weekend, I'm literally just kind of doing that. Like I'm not reading anything, like I'm not writing, like I'm not doing any of that. Like I just want to listen. So like all day I've been getting in videos here and there, trying to not click on the ones in the side that are like how I learn languages, because like sometimes I get too distracted by them, and I'm like being harder on myself, and I'm like, girl, when are you going to stop like listening to how other people do it and just do it? Like just do it yourself. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, all day it's just been like listening to different comprehensible input videos from different channels. I kind of want to make a video highlighting like smaller channels that do comprehensible input for Spanish, but like that are from Spanish speaking countries that aren't talked about as much. So yeah, that is what I'm doing for mini immersion this weekend. I'm really just focusing on listening, watching these videos. I'm doing like a little bit of like content from all different levels, just because it's like sometimes like the beginner videos just like, look, I like beginner videos, and like I'm just like in a weird spot where I'm like between beginner and intermediate, because it's like there's some intermediate videos where I'm like, okay, like I'm with you, and then like there's other intermediate videos where I'm like, I'm gonna go back to the beginner videos. But like sometimes like with the beginner videos, like I'm just so tired of it. Like sometimes I just get so tired of the way that they talk, and it's like I get it, but it's like it kind of like I'm like, okay, like I'm at a low level, like I understand. Like, does anybody else feel that way, where sometimes it's just like I understand, like I get it, like obviously nothing against the creators, like I love, like I use the videos, they're good, but like sometimes it gets like a little bit like just like being talked to like you're five. Sometimes it starts to like give me like a little bit of a headache, and I get like a little bit like, okay, I'm over this content. So I've been going back and forth between beginner, intermediate, and here and there I'll put on like a native video, just because, you know, I don't sleep on native content. I get that like for some people like they really go like but I don't do that. I do my own thing, and if I can have some conversations with natives, I can listen to native like videos and get more used to it. That's the way I see it. I feel like I can do it all at once. And I mean, I've gotten this far, so like it works for me. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with mini immersion this weekend. So yeah. Sorry, a lot of this is going to be in the front camera, which I know is like lower quality, but it just is what it is. So like I am really focusing on Spanish during mini immersion this weekend, but I definitely wanted to do like a dabble in Vietnamese moment. The thing is that like I wanted to do like some comprehensible input when it comes to Vietnamese as well, but it's definitely more difficult because of how it's so, you need to like choose a dialect and stick to it, because like they're so vastly different. Where you have in Vietnam where they're like, I'm from the north and like I don't understand people from the south, and I'm from the south and I don't understand people from the central. So I'm doing southern Vietnamese, so it's like sometimes I'll find like comprehensible input and it's like from the north, and I'm like, okay. And it's like, I mean, like in Spanish it's like more or less like it's giving like you can kind of like do all around the Spanish speaking world and get something out of it. But when it comes to like the Vietnamese dialects, it's very much so like you need to kind of like hone in on one. Otherwise, you're just going to be confused because like they literally like they can't understand each other well. As a learner, what do you expect? Right? So yeah. So I actually made this playlist to share between me and my sister just because she's also learning Vietnamese and like we kind of want to do it together as like a little bonding thing, even though we don't live together anymore, which I thought was cute. So yeah, like I just like put videos on there for us to watch like weekly. But I'm gonna go ahead and listen to this one for a little bit and maybe listen to this one again just to get like a little bit of learning in there. I've been really just trying to focus on like listening in Vietnamese, but like I'm also now starting to itch for like, okay, like let's start with words, like let's get into vocabulary, let's get a little bit into grammar. So yeah, I'm gonna listen to this for a little bit and then maybe this and then just get back into Spanish.
Trước đây mình rất là thích uống cà phê kiểu Việt Nam với sữa đặc.
Something I really like about Vietnamese is, is that the KH, like consonant team, sorry, I don't know if that's what you call it, consonant cluster, is like that sound, like, and like I really appreciate that because I know a lot of Spanish speakers that do jota like that, like jota, like that sound. And like in the beginning I was like, how am I like ever gonna get that, because I feel like in English like we don't really make that sound. So like I was like I'm never gonna like get that sound, but since it's like so prominent in Vietnamese, I feel like really comfortable with it already. I'm like, oh, it's not that hard. I don't know why I was so dramatic about it in the beginning. But yeah, that was actually a really nice video. First we listened just like to listen, and then it had the subtitles, which I tried to only pay attention to like the Vietnamese one, like the Vietnamese, because it popped up English and Vietnamese, but I tried just to focus on the Vietnamese so that I could just like really get into my brain. Somebody gave me advice that if I just like listen, because they are learning Chinese, and they were like the only way I really was able to get tones was just by listening. So I'm just trying to do the Vietnamese because it's like it doesn't ever seem that hard when I'm just like saying it after a native, but it's like, or like repeating after a native I should say. But then when it's like me on my own and it's like, okay, now like I need to like produce this sound on my own, I can't do it at all. So yeah, and they were like, well, if you just like listen to like the tones will make sense if you just hear it more and more. So I'm gonna do that. I think with Vietnamese I'm gonna be a little bit different than Spanish just because like the resources are smaller. But I might just like choose a video to listen to like throughout the week, which I know like some people do in language learning, but like I've never done that because like I get bored. So I'm like, we're moving on to the next thing. Like I'm not like listening to like this more than once, which I guess like is good for you. But I don't do that. But I will do that with Vietnamese just to really take advantage of the resources that there are. And yeah, especially like I said, just because it's like there's only so many Southern Vietnamese resources I can use, and this is one of them, How to Vietnamese. So if you're interested in Vietnamese, Southern Vietnamese, I would recommend How to Vietnamese.
Número 7 tenemos los porotos. Esta es una comida muy tradicional de los inviernos.
Unas ventajas de hablar español en Estados Unidos. Como ustedes saben, yo...
Mi entrevista, usted me prometió, doctora Monteverde, y si hablamos del padre de su hija, ¿desde cuándo está desaparecido?
Okay, so I took a break today from a lot of, I'm doing some comprehensible input, but I took a break from a lot of it and I listened to these two videos. I listened to some other ones, but these two stood out to me because I understood basically all of them. This one I understood like 80%. This one I understood like 60 to 70%. So yeah, that definitely made me feel great because it was like nice being able to listen to something that wasn't for learners and just was for, you know, your average Spanish speaker. So I enjoyed that a lot. It definitely made my day.